Muriel Weinstein. Okay. Osip Mandelstam was a poet who wrote against the Russian government. And because of that, they not only burnt all his stuff, they put him in the gulag. His wife, Najida, a person I admire tremendously, determined that she would save every bit of his writing. And this poem is how she did it. Najida memorizing Mandelstam's poems. She collected his words, she sheltered them, held them as if fragile to the touch. She swaddled them, sang to them in Stranino, in Perm, in Moskva and Leningrad. Sleepless, pacing nightly, she chanted his words. She drank in his words. She ate his words. They could never leave her body. She had to save them, save them. They wanted to burn his words, wanted to burn him. She knew they'd force him in the gulag. She knew he'd never return. She would gorge herself, eat thousands and thousands of his words. It was the only way she could hide them, till his words could breathe free air, till his words lived on paper again. Only then would she stop her nightly vigil, murmuring them, fingering them on their strings of sentences like rosaries, each word sacred. She held his words inside her, in her brain, in her heart. His words were now her words. She could save him, make him live forever. His words would become the world's. His words, his words, his words. And this is about my brother, okay? The day, my brother was 29. The day was draped in black. Dark cars snaked toward the pines, down into the valley, down as if they too were to be buried. Mama fell onto the plain coffin. He can't go. He can't. The grave diggers lowered the box. Mama cried, "What kind of home is this for mein Kind? He's too young to go." Through 6 days of shiver, through 6 sweaty, record-breaking days, I froze in the kitchen. Icy spikes like stalagmites gored my chest. I could not enter the living room where Mama's voice, a blunt needle on a scratchy record. Alone, he's alone. What kind of home is that? A stony, heavy ache anchored in my chest. He shouldn't have gone, she says. Nicht mein Zindel. Not my son. She stood under the arched doors. I saw her eyes on me. Dedicated to a friend of mine, Sylvia, who signed. She had to use the sign language. She was deaf. The conductor. She lives in a womb of silence. Never heard her mother's cooing. Best friends never cupped her ear, tickled it with secrets, or whispered forbidden thoughts. A lover's words never nestled in her ear to throb with desire. Today, like Toscanini, her signing hands fly up, conduct an inner music, tell of swimming in the ocean, hands flit like sea sparrows or sandpipers surfing waves, soar and dip on lacy crests. She conducts her own rite of spring. Waves rise and rear like wild stallions. White manes shiver in the wind. collide and crash on beach. Then hands like loons swoop down, glide into a new water music. Fingertips pulse like plovers' hearts. Even at rest, they quiver, eager to speak again. When I used to babysit, I would get home late at night, and one night I was followed all the way home from Westchester. So I decided I had to get a dummy. So this is all about the dummy, all right? My spare lover. Everyone stores a spare in their trunk, but I've got more, a Latino hunk. I call him Jose. He sleeps in fetal position near the greasy Jack and Simonize kit. When I showered him last night, dressed him in Al's sweats, he looked good enough to take to bed. His lips tantalized, plump and ready, but oh, so mute. I need to be wooed. I coo into a CD, words sizzling with heat, blending jazz with a Brazilian beat, and drop the hot disc into his burlap heart and sit him up front, knee to knee. When I hear that CD, passionate with love and ready to melt, to say I'm mad for him, will love him, and that's when he falls for me. Jose's head plops on my breast, then slumps into the steering wheel, stuck, while my CD of love washes over us, sparking me to join in a torchy duet. I drive over a roadway bump. Jose's head pops up. He's listening too. The moon floods our sight. We drive up its silvered shaft, singing of love, hoping he'll come alive. All right, this is about one of my favorite people, Frida Kahlo and Diego, I love her, because he set her on fire. Frida carved his image in her psyche, carved his face in the middle of her forehead, caught him like a bird, caged him in her heart, and when he entered her cave of sighs, she wouldn't let go. This narrow-framed child woman, lame leg, cracked spine, opened her heavily lipstick lips and swallowed the wide, muscular oak of a man, savoring him, hoarding him. She wouldn't let him go. On my 80th birthday, I won a dress of slinky silk, bursting with tropical blossoms, where fuchsia and hibiscus cascade over breasts in such abundance, everyone will say, "Ah, the hanging gardens of Babylon." I want young vines to entwine my waist and slide over my hips in green ecstasy, ribbon out with each hip sway, shimmy with each thigh's thrust. I want to strut past the senior center, where the guys will throw down their canes and walkers and bump into each other as they rush to inhale my flowers. I want tiger lilies, oleander, bougainvillea, and orchids growing along the hem, blooming in a collision of chaotic colors. My feet will dance in that garden, and the ruffles on my skirt will bounce and flirt, wing around my legs to jazz I'm improvising as I swing my hips to that bluesy beat and sing and sing and sing.